We are here at the Elks Theater and Performance Arts Center. We're with our theater manager from the Elks Theater.
Jennifer Ward, one of the theater managers here.
And your position, what does that entail?
It entails many things. We wear a lot of hats here. Colette and I, we're the theater managers, and it entails taking care of our patrons, as well as, Colette works hard on bringing the talent in from production companies that are out of the area. So a lot of things.
Okay. So you do all that?
All the things that are to be done here, so we do that.
You oversee that?
Yeah.
So this is a nonprofit, am I correct?
It is a nonprofit. It is the Ann Dater Foundation.
With that nonprofit, do you have volunteers? Just to help
Absolutely.
keep the place? Yeah.
Colette and I are behind the bar serving you.
Oh, really?
Meanwhile, we've got our docents who are also here during the week.
Docents?
Our docents are full of the history, and they dress in period clothing.
No kidding.
18 to 1900s, yeah, early
That's cool,
1900s. They love it. They take tickets for us. They sell tickets for us, and during the week they do tours, which are free.
Really?
Yeah, free tours, history. People come in a lot. The tour is as long as they want it to be. I mean, they can come in and do a quick zip.
Okay.
Or they can ask all the questions and be here for hours.
I like to get some clarity on that for people to know that a lot of these places do need volunteers, and they're always looking maybe. So if you have theater background or you love to be around the theater, it could be a nice opportunity just for you to get a break from the normal stuff every day and to get out there and try this and to contact you. Am I correct?
They can contact us, yes.
So let's talk about your lobby here. There is a painting on the ceiling, if you want to describe that.
Yeah, really what this is this painting on the ceiling was done in the 1920s. That is original. So it was pretty great. But yeah, this is our lobby. This is where people come in and get their tickets at will call, and then they proceed up to the bar area before the show starts.
So this is the bar area, a very important section here.
This is the most important section before you get into the theater proper.
So it's nice to have a glass of wine before you go in.
It absolutely is, yeah. We sell beer and wine, and that's all the alcohol that we serve. We serve soda, water, popcorn, candy, those kinds of things. Our prices are extremely affordable because we are a nonprofit.
Well, that's great.
We want everybody to come in and have a good time and not feel like they can't afford to take their family somewhere, or go on a date. It's just neat. We get to know our patrons. We become family with some of them, really.
So I usually don't go in the ladies' room, so this is something that we don't do.
Yeah.
But this time we're doing it.
Right. A lot of men have been in this ladies' room. Mostly the women want to see or want to show them how beautiful it is. The men's room's not quite as beautiful as ours is. And so they drag their men in there and show them what a beautiful place. And one thing I did want to touch on in here, just briefly, is that a lot of people ask if our theater is haunted. It is indeed haunted. If you're a skeptic, I don't know, come on in here and maybe we can rouse something up. Right here. This one right here. We do have a friend who is in here on the daily and makes herself pretty well known.
So it's a mystery of who this person is.
It's absolutely a mystery as far as who is haunting. We have a name for our primary friend out in theater proper.
You got another one too.
Oh yeah. We've had people come in and investigate. They're telling us that there are many. I mean, it's really just your standard water closet.
So let's take a walk into the theater, into the entrance. This is the usual place that people will walk through and enter. There was a redo before your organization took over. And part of it was done by the city?
That's correct. We were previously owned by the city. Most of what was finished was the other side. I think primarily the remodel was complete
for the theater
in 2010.
Part? Oh, great.
We have updated sound equipment and things like that. However, since then they came in, they did fundraisers and things like that and redid the entire inside of the theater to bring her back to her glorious state that she's supposed to be in. At one time, these boxes were actually covered up. Someone decided it was a good idea to cover those. And so that was sad.
Why was that?
I have no idea. So that was sad. And so when the remodel was done, they opened it back up and made everything functional. All of the paint colors, they went down and dug into the paint that was here and found the original colors, matched those. Again, all the stenciling was done by hand. The gold leafing on the pillars there. That was all sent out of the country to be done.
So, first, the performances. What type of performances do you have?
So right now what we're doing would be weekly movies. Typically on a Wednesday night we'll have a movie night.
Okay.
It's free, donation only, and an entire family can come in for whatever it is that they can afford to bring. And again, concessions are affordable and they can get in here and see a movie. They're not first run movies. They're usually, but they're not, we show old movies as well. We do classics sometimes on Sundays and things like that. And then we have concerts.
Okay.
And we are a rental facility. Yeah, we'll probably start scheduling things again later in the fall.
The kind of concerts that you have here and music that you have here, do you ever have theater, as in plays or plays that need music, like a musical?
Yes, of course.
Behind it?
Yeah. And we've got a couple theater troupes here in the area that come in and do their plays
So if
here.
they need music with their stuff, or even if it's bumper type music, where
Right.
you're going from spot to spot, where do the musicians play?
Musicians can be anywhere. They can be on stage, obviously.
Yeah.
We've had musicians down here. Typically,
On the
it's a
floor?
track. Yeah, typically they use tracks, and so then you're going to use the sound system in the back.
I was just looking at, can we take a walk up on the stage?
Of course. You want to go this way?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, no, wait a minute. I want to go out here.
Go in there.
Yeah, I want to stand out there. We're just a average Prescott couple, having the best
Enjoying a
seat in
show.
the house.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yep.
Right, you
Enjoying
got
the
the
show.
sound? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like the seat.
I have an opinion about the boxes.
Okay, what's your opinion?
I feel sometimes the boxes are too close to the
your
stage.
opinion counts since you're
I know.
the theater
I
manager.
tell
Okay.
people this all the time.
They're too close.
Yeah, you're too close. That's my opinion. You miss
Sure.
things.
Oh,
I
you're
like
gonna
being
miss
out here.
things.
Yeah,
Right.
I like out here, but a lot of people love the boxes.
You know why?
They're,
comfy,
yeah.
and
You get a
everybody
big
can see
swishy
you out
chair.
here.
Right.
It's like getting floor seats
That's
at a
why I
basketball
don't
game.
like it. Yeah. I feel like I'm on stage when I'm
Oh,
here.
well, they like this.
Yeah.
I've got these seats. I like
So,
them.
yeah.
And I'm me, and you're not.
And you're not. So they're a little pricier than the other seats, but not by much.
Can I hop up to the stage from here? Is that okay?
You can. I'm not going to, but you
Or you want to walk around the other way? Oh, yeah.
for center.
The split, yeah.
Where's the split?
Oh, there it is. So I just wanted to show a little of the size of this. There we go. Nice floor.
Yeah, thank you.
So when you have somebody doing the work here, you're obviously got to have someone that's running the lights, a couple of people, and the sound and everything. Are these volunteers, or do you have?
Typically, a production company will bring their own sound person.
Oh.
That is usually how that works. Not always, and in which case, one of our employees, Bob, he will handle sound. He also handles lights. So,
okay.
yeah.
You got a whole booth.
Yeah, well, the booth up here is our office, so that's where Colette and I work
Oh,
during
really?
the week. So, but the sound booth back here behind Steven there is sound and lights.
Right. Oh, the clock. Tell us about the clock and why it's at 11 o'clock.
Oh, well, the clock is part of the Elks mystique. Any place you go into that is an Elks Lodge will have a clock in it that points to 11 a.m. or 11 p.m., depending upon when
like
you're up.
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
It's close enough to lunch.
Really. Basically, what happens is that the Elks is they're taking time to toast members who are not available anymore. They could be traveling or they could have passed, but it's past members who are not able to be with them at the moment. And so everywhere you go, there's a clock like that in the Elks, and I'll show you one next door.
Okay, you got a clock over there,
And we
too.
have a clock over there,
Okay.
and they just, that's how it works. They just take a moment, raise a glass, and on with business.
Okay.
And that's how it works.
I never sit here, but this is where I would sit.
Oh, would
Yeah.
you sit at the end because that way you can get up quicker? Okay, so those are the perfect two seats. So
I
go ahead, so
think
you sit
so.
there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sit there. Oh yeah, right. The angle's great here. All right. So here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great
Good.
seat. It's a good seat. You don't have to even go up farther. It's actually perfect.
That, I can tell you about that light.
Go ahead.
This light, as far as, people look up there and how do you change those light bulbs? So what Bob does, or my son Hunter works here as well, they'll go up. I believe they go up through you, right? Okay, so they'll go up through the other half of the building where Stephen is, and this lowers all the way down. And so then, and it'll spin. So when,
Oh, really?
Yeah, so when we have light bulbs
That's
go
not
out.
what I was expecting. I was just thinking of taking a cherry picker. And
Yeah, no cherry pickers. Huh? To do the lights up there, we use one of those, but not this. So yeah, it just comes down and he changes the light bulbs.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they go and raise it back up.
Oh, anybody that's coming to this theater and they're concerned about, oh, those seats, you know, how old are they? It's an older theater and everything. Well, the seats are newer because they're redone, but the upholstery is like really dense, so it's super comfortable. So we're going to take a little walk right now and show downstairs, and that way people can see not only backstage a little bit, but also any performers can see what they'd be headed towards if they would be coming here and they'd want to perform in the theater.
But about 2 years ago, I redesigned the basement. It was pretty boring and pretty plain. So I took it upon myself and I brought the little alcove here back to 1904.
Right.
So Theodore Roosevelt,
Right.
cars, things like that,
Right.
actors, actresses, and just made it pretty.
You got your Rolling Stones people, then you got your Beatles people. You don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Right, right. Posters, frame them. I think it looks amazing.
Yeah.
So all of these posters are performances that were here.
Oh, really?
Since I've been here. So in
Oh.
the last 10 years, these are some of the things that have gone on.
So it means more than just putting a poster up of something.
Oh, absolutely.
you like.
No, and then the performers then come down here and look for theirs, of course. And,
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. If you want to follow me, we'll go to the back.
Sure. So you get a lot of acts here that are like the Australian Bee Gee types and those types, right?
Yeah, so, tribute bands. But I'll
Yeah.
tell you something. A lot of people question tribute bands a lot.
They're usually good.
They're not good. You know, they're bar bands, and they are not.
Yeah, they're
no,
excellent.
They are wonderful.
The first time I saw one of those was the Australian Bee Gees, and I
Okay.
saw them in St. George, Utah, at Tuacahn, that school and
Okay.
theater, and everything that they have in St. George. Anyway, they were outstanding.
Sometimes you don't know. If you close your eyes, you're not even aware that this is a tribute band at all. They're
and not only
amazing.
that, they perform
Yeah.
well. They're not
Yeah.
just sound good.
No.
They're really performers.
Yes, yeah.
So I was impressed, and then that got me to seeing other tribute bands,
Yeah.
and then I found out
They're amazing.
They're really really good.
Yeah.
And then they have them in Vegas too.
Oh yeah, and some of
really
these,
good.
some come from Vegas to perform here. So this is good talent. This is great talent.
And it's fun.
It's fun, so
well,
fun.
the fact is that if you want to see the Bee Gees, you're not going to.
That's right.
Unless
So
you see a tribute band.
you're going to come in and see a tribute. Yeah.
But nobody's complaining that the Flagstaff Symphony Orchestra is playing Beethoven's Fifth or
Oh.
whatever. Just where's Beethoven? How come he's not playing it? Why how come
Well-
he's not conducting well? He's not alive
Right, he's
anymore. Right.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
yeah. These tribute bands.
So
are
that's a
amazing.
big part of some of your upcoming.
That's a very
stuff.
large part of what we do. Yeah.
Right, right.
Very
So-
large, and we're
so-
booked every Friday, Saturday,
Oh, really?
sometimes Sundays. Yeah, when
So
we're
it's good for people to know that they've got some excellent tribute bands.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
In a cool place to.
And a
to
great
see.
old place.
So this is a dressing room for men, women, or anybody?
You know, I made it for the ladies and
Oh,
put
okay.
the ladies in here, but it seems that the men want to be in here with the ladies.
Oh,
So this
okay.
has since become the men's dressing room.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
you know,
funny.
we let them do whatever they want. And then, of course, a bathroom and closet area.
Okay. And you kept the whole black and white thing going.
Kept the whole black and white thing going. The other side is just the same,
Okay.
only with, you know,
Pictures of men.
Elvis and yeah, that kind of thing. So this is what we call the lair. It was dirt, run down, a little frightening, to be honest. A lot of people would not come in here. Okay, and 2 years ago when we redid the basement, we turned it back into a functional space.
Sure, why not?
So this was the original dressing room
Oh, okay.
from way back.
Okay.
But it just was not something that you wanted to really enter too often,
Okay. Well,
if at all. I like it in here because I like, you know, I like that aspect of it all. But there are people who wouldn't come in here. So
you mentioned that there's possibly other ghosts that are actually in the main theater, but there's a particular place like the third stall, or that's just
You know,
in
the third
general?
stall is definitely a particular place for this being.
Okay.
But we do have an entity here that we've named Fillmore. I don't know why, we just named him that some years ago. I think my daughter and I did that. And so we talk to Fillmore a lot because he's fairly active.
Okay.
My daughter has seen apparitions. I have not seen an apparition, but she has more than once.
Okay.
Touches, pokes,
Oh, really?
hair pulls.
Hair pulls?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So funny things like that. Yeah. Smells that
Yeah, hair pulls
you
would
know are
necessarily be
not normal. Yeah. I had my hair pulled on
smell.
the steps. Yeah.
Fragrance.
Fragrance. Well,
But it
I
could
would-
be anywhere in the building.
He can be anywhere in the building.
My name is Steve Kartsting, and welcome to the Elks Performing Arts Center.
So we're up here on the third floor, and the reason we are is because this is where we're going to start showing some things.
Well, there's banquet halls up here. Bill is up here as well.
Bill?
Bill is up on the roof, on
Right.
top of us.
That's an ex-employee that he's just not allowed back in the building anymore.
Yeah, he has to live on the roof now, so that's how he works.
That's
So
the way it goes.
I'd like to take you through and show you some of the rooms and some of the architecture here
Okay.
from the existing building.
Okay.
And
Sounds
also,
good.
right behind us, we have our 11 o'clock. And this clock was the original clock from the Elks.
Oh, it is.
When they built the it wasn't a performing arts center then, it was their lodge.
All right.
Back in the early 1900s, 1905 or so. This particular clock, they found salvaged. It was thrown away and leaning up against the dumpster in the alley when they came through and said, "Oh my God,
That's the Elks
that's
clock.
the Elks clock!" It was just cleaning
What are
the place
you doing?
out.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? So they needed to do some repair, but if you take a shot of it, you can see it says 3:30 along the bottom and BPOE
Yes,
along
yes.
the top.
Yeah.
And like I said, next door, you'll find a clock like this in every Elks lodge. The hall behind me is called the Crystal Room, and the hall on the other side is the Sundance.
I love the colors because
Yes.
that's the old Elks stuff.
Yeah.
And it looks great in here with the cream on the walls where the wainscoting. Really, and
Yeah.
it's. Is this the original stuff or
This was redone. That's a good point. All of this you see, the architecture that you see is
Yeah.
basically original from the Elks.
Okay.
And so it's almost 120 years old. When they were doing the remodel, which took almost 5 years, to keep it in the period of what was the Elks of 1905, 1910. So
Sure.
this is the main ballroom.
All right.
The Crystal Hall, the Crystal Room, and
Okay, because you have crystal chandelier up above
Yep.
the stage.
that was found in the cellar.
Oh, really?
Just another discard.
Okay.
Waste not, want not. But the barrel ceilings are original. This particular floor was the Elks' private rooms. This is where they had their meetings and they played poker and had their dances and whatever else Elks do. I'm not really sure. We divided it up into two separate spaces. We put in the kitchen behind us. So to give you a sense of where we are, if you could walk through those walls behind us, you would be in the catwalks above the stage.
Gotcha.
And at that end of the building is the balcony in
Okay.
the theater. So that kind of gives you an orientation as to where we are. This was all totally redone by the foundation,
All right.
the Arts Foundation that I work for, and Jennifer as well. And they did a beautiful, beautiful job.
Yeah, there's tons of money in this.
Short story, one of the instructors we have on the second floor that teaches ballet and dance, and her grandfather, I believe, was an Elk,
Okay.
and played poker up here, and actually won the house that they live in a poker game.
Really?
On this floor.
Really?
So that was just yeah, really.
That's interesting.
Just an interesting story. But it's gorgeous, and if you want to, we can go through that door into, it would be above the theater.
Okay,
and,
let's do it.
Take a look at what
do
goes on there. And if you want to take a shot at the kitchen real fast. It's a great kitchen. You know, we have all kinds of events that happen up here.
Sure.
Weddings, parties, business meetings, concerts. We do have private concerts up here.
Oh, really?
As well as what happens in the theater.
If, let's say you want to use this room, do they call you up to rent the space?
Call me up or email.
You've got a couple of rooms that you're going to show us, so you do have some rooms on it. But how easy is it to get on your calendar?
Pretty easy, pretty
Okay.
easy. We're really flexible, and the more
Okay.
flexible they are with their timing is better. Obviously, the weekends are our busiest time, just like in the theater.
Do you ever have wedding type things up here?
Oh, all the time. Week before last, we had one.
And how is your rental pricing? Not the dollar amount, but just comparatively.
Well, we're a foundation, so we are very reasonable. Very,
Okay.
very reasonable.
Because there's some advantages to, I mean, a lot of people like to have them outside for whatever because they think it's romantic, but there's some advantages to have a place that has indoor bathrooms, nice looking, no flies buzzing your head when you're trying to eat,
Nope.
things like that. So, and a really nice kitchen. So if you had an event here, how would they be able to access your kitchen, or the people that would have food? How does that work?
We just make the arrangements for them. We act as the go-between for whatever services they've contracted out.
Okay. So it's okay for you to for them to bring in somebody.
Yeah, we provide the space for them. We don't actually provide services. We can make recommendations to local people, and
But that's all good with you.
but that's all good with us.
Right,
They're
whatever
not,
they're gonna do.
they're not required to use our people or our booze or anything.
Well, that's a
So,
plus.
yeah, it's a plus for them.
Can you bring alcohol to a building like this without a
can.
service?
You can,
Okay.
as long as you're giving it away. If you're
giving it away.
you can't sell it without
No,
a
you're giving it
license.
away.
But you're giving it away.
Because
you
it's
can
a
go
wedding.
ahead.
It's a wedding celebration
Yeah.
with family and friends and things like that.
Exactly. And this is the Sundance room.
Oh wow! I wasn't expecting this.
We have dance classes that happen up here, as well as on the second floor. This particular room, this is the wedding ceremony room more often than not. So when we're having a dual event, the wedding and ceremony, the wedding happens here, the reception is in the main hall.
Well, let me ask you about conferences then. Let's say somebody wants to have a business meeting in here. We're in an historic building, but how are you set up if they say, well, how's your Wi-Fi? Or we want to put some PowerPoints up and all that stuff. How are you?
We're Wi-Fi capable, no charge. So you just log in, accept the terms, and you go. They can bring their own equipment, or we'll provide them with a screen and a projector.
Okay.
We provide all the tables, chairs.
Oh, okay. So somewhere hiding in this building are some tables and chairs.
They are well hidden. They are well hidden. One thing they didn't think about when they did the remodel was storage.
Yeah. Well,
So we're
nobody
very-
thinks of storage.
We are quite
should see
inventive
my
when
house.
it comes to that. But again, you can look around the building, around the room, and it is the same. The barreled ceilings, the lighting is new and updated.
The ceilings are terrific.
But you can see the shutters in here. These are all handmade by a local worker and installed. So when they did the wainscoting and the working, they tried to keep all the work local.
Well, you do have one storage closet back there.
That's a storage closet. If you open it up, it's full of tables.
There you go. Okay, so we are going up to the roof, and the reason is because there's some interesting things up here to show. Oh yeah, we're above the stage.
Literally, if you could fall through here and you don't want to,
No.
you'd be sitting, you'd land in the seats.
Oh, you land in the seats.
You'd land in the seats.
In the balcony, or the bottom, or the first row seats.
First row seats here. Towards that end, you'd be in the balcony.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
absolutely. If you look to your left here, you can see the backdrops
Yes.
with different curtains, including the movie screen and everything else is sitting there, and you can just look down,
Oh,
and there's
all
the
the
stage.
foliage.
The stage below us, and you can just make out the curtain. You had asked a question about, are they connected?
Yeah.
Yes, they are, but no, they're not. But when the Elks originally built the place,
Yeah.
there were all kinds of secret passageways and things like that they put
really?
in to go back and forth, so
Sure,
that they
but it
wouldn't.
makes sense.
Yeah, they didn't want to have to go out to the street and come back up and
yeah,
go
right.
up go up 3 flights of stairs.
Right.
So they had their stairways.
It's cold outside sometimes.
Yeah, they had it all figured out. They remodeled this. They found those all boarded up and closed off from over the years, and then they had to decide what we were going to do with them. But most of them were closed up and sealed off at this point. So the only way to get here is through the outside and then back in. Be careful going up the stairs. Very exciting. Up in front of us is Bill.
Okay.
Bill is the elk, and this is the original elk that was built for the lodge, Bill. And why do they call him Bill? No one really knows. When the Elks Lodge moved to Prescott Valley, they took Bill with them. And we ended up getting him back, and a replacement Bill was put over by the lodge. But they were able to finagle it. So
Smart move.
Smart move. So
Because it belongs on this building.
it belongs on this building. It belonged to the Elks, so that when they moved, they took it. It must have been a heck of a deal getting it off the roof. The thing weighs a couple of tons. It was forged here in Prescott 100 years ago. It is beautiful up here.
Yeah.
And I love it up here.
Yeah, because you really can't get this view from hardly any buildings. It's not like there's a lot of high rises.
No, absolutely. And, you can just see the San Francisco peaks.
Oh, yeah.
just-
Hey, there's my house in Flagstaff.
What's that, 100 miles away, give or take? And so here we are on the second floor. And this is really the heart and soul of what it is we do. We are in Performing Arts Foundation, and this is where it all happens along with the theater. We have 2 different dance studios along with recording booths and music rooms.
Okay.
And so if we go through that door, we can enter into the first dance hall.
I'll follow you. What are we looking at here?
This is a floating hickory. And
So this is your floating floor.
this is, the floor on the other side is floating as well, but it's a different kind of floor, and we'll go over there and talk about it a little bit. For dancing, this floor has bounce and give. And whereas if you're on a hard surface, you get shin splints and be in pain. So this allows the floor to give a little bit when you move on it. There are 2 of these. This one is for contemporary dance, tap. We let some happen here. We also do exercise classes, Zumba, yoga, Tai Chi goes on here. Hip hop classes. We have a ballet teacher, she's in the other hall. We also have Polynesian dance.
All these
classes.
instructors, are they outside people that rent the space, or how does all that work?
Yes. Thank you for asking. Everything here is available for rent from the general public. So we leased a space to the people, to the instructors, to use on an hourly or weekly or however they want to structure it. So they come to us, they'll email us, say, have you got space on Saturdays at 3 in the afternoon?
Gotcha.
I want a couple hours to have
So you calendar this.
We calendar, everything's calendared, so we're not doubling up and tripling up and making a mess of life for everybody. They simply come in here, they do their thing, they're turnkey, so they show up at their allotted time and lock the door behind them on the way out.
There's a lot of different instructors.
There are
With
a
some
lot.
great backgrounds.
Yes. Our ballet instructor, Nicole Romine, is a classically trained ballet instructor, and she is very, very good. Some of the students she have taught here have been accepted into some of the most prestigious classes in the United States. There's a lot of people that have extensive histories in movement, in arts.
One woman from India originally, she was born in India?
That would be Roma Korn. She is the Tai Chi instructor. They all have, like I said, extensive histories. We don't vet them in that way. But they come preloaded, which is really nice.
Yeah, that is.
So anyways, the room itself is, they're fairly similar. Some minor differences. They're self-contained. They have their own sound systems, their own heating, their
Nice
own
lighting.
adjustable lighting. you know, we can definitely make your ears bleed with the sound systems in here. To go.
What's interesting about it, you're in it's kind of very city-ish, very urban the way this building is done, because you've got an older historic building, but yet the insides, everything looks new. So anybody that would want to teach in a building like this, you're getting probably the best that you would want.
Yeah.
More than you would expect. I think.
Exactly.
Now the people that actually want to take the class, how is that? Are you controlling the pricing on that? Is there set pricing on that? Is that up to the instructor?
That's up to the instructor, what they do. We have on our website a listing of classes that are to the public.
Oh, so they can go to your website and that's where their access points.
Yeah, theelkstheater.com.
Okay.
And up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says classes at the Elk.
But the pricing seems pretty reasonable for some of the dance classes.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, $5.
Well, yeah, I saw
$10.
one was like 15 for something, which still was good.
Yeah.
It's nice to have this kind of thing in such a smaller community.
Yeah, it is. It is an advantage, and our mission for the foundation that we are is to promote the performing arts, the teaching, education, and the performing arts, support the performing arts in Prescott and the Quad City area. We'll open up to just about anybody, any kind of class that wants to come in here, and we're available. We are very inexpensive, reasonably priced, as they say.
Reasonably priced.
Reasonably
Which
priced.
is nice.
But anyways, I'd like to take you across and show you the other dance hall. This is dance one,
Ah, and they got bars.
and this is the.
This makes sense.
This would be for ballet.
Right.
This could also be used for contemporary dance. Others, obviously it has the bar on the wall. It has the same kind of sound system, lighting, heating, air conditioning, everything is the same. The major difference here is the floor.
Okay.
This is as far as I know, the only professionally installed Marley floor.
Yeah, it's
which
Marley?
Marley,
Familiar.
But
explain the Marley floor.
Marley was just a guy that invented the floor. The floor is designed for contemporary or ballet dance. It is multi-layered. So that below the vinyl on the floor, the top surface, are the multiple layers of padding and felt underneath.
Right.
So that if you're a ballet dancer and you're doing on point, this is where you want to be. Because this is the most comfortable floor you'll find. A lot of grip, a lot of comfort, because you're bouncing really high, you're leaping, but it's really underneath that matters, makes this floor very special. We're on the second floor of the Elks Theater Performing Arts Center.
So I'm a sound engineer. We do recording here at the Elks Theater. I also own a production company. We do DJ. We also do sound and lighting, and then we just launched a video production service. So we do kind of a full production type of business. So
And Justin works with us to help us, and very inexpensively, provide services to the general public. Maybe if you talk a little bit about what went on here last week.
yeah, of course, yes. You know, we had a band last week. It was a four-piece band. And then what we did was we used all these rooms. Each musician had their own room. And so basically what we did was we mic'd the drum set in here. We had guitars, bass, and then keyboards in here. So we kind of just all recorded all at once.
And they're all wearing headsets so they can hear each other?
Yeah, they all have headphones. They can all hear each other. They all have mics so they can all talk to each other too and everything. And then everything's ran through our control room back here.
So now when they had the headphones and the mics, were they bringing their own stuff?
They bring in their own instruments, but we provide microphones, cables. We do recording on our sound system here. I'll show you kind of the session that we did the other day. Everything's plugged into here. This is our recording interface, headphone amp. This is our mic pre. All of our cables, everything's all wired into the control room here.
Right. So you have cable access in each room.
Yeah, so every room we can plug in mics and stuff like
Nice.
that. So this is basically what it looks like. So you have your full drum set. You've got some tambourine, you've got guitar tracks, bass, keyboards, vocals. So we record everything. We recorded the instruments all at once, and then we had them do all the vocal tracks after that. So so they did 6 songs. They just did like a quick demo. We do everything from basic demos to full production sound, like so full radio quality music.
who thought of this? I mean, you're on a floor where, and you're going up, you got dance areas.
Yeah.
That you're on those floors, and this is just like, and people say, well, it's part of the arts, but it's very different to have something like this with sound booths.
So it's kind of like you said, it's part of the performing arts, you know, so you've got the live events, but then at some point bands and musicians need to have, so if you perform here, but you want something a little bit more polished sounding on a recording, then you can come and record at the studio versus recording something live, you know, that's on stage. We bring in our own clientele. The Elks Theater does give us referrals with people wanting to record. So it's kind of both. We get some from the Elks, and then some we bring our own. The last band we recorded, they wanted everything all done at once, you know, so we needed a little bit of extra inputs. The drummer, we had, you know, he had a 6-piece drum kit, you know, so we close mic'd everything, had an overhead and a room mic.
Did he bring his own mic? Did he bring his own mics for all that?
No, we provided all them. We provide all the mics.
Oh, okay.
So he just brings his kit. You know, we provide the mics, headphones, and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do it. So
what was interesting when I walked into this room, it went from slight echo, but still really good acoustics, because you're dealing with a soft floor, some carpet, to dead.
Yeah.
It's dead. When you talk, I talk. It just
yeah,
it's dead. It's wonderful.
Well, I mean, it sounds great. You know, like when you have some of the room in there, I can play a little sample for you. So everything was recorded all at once except for the vocals. So everything sounds nice and clean, and you know, so.
Yeah, that makes a big difference having the sound booths.
Yeah.
Even digitally, like we do all of our stuff just digitally.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it because you're in a closed system. But when you have physical drums, and things like that, where you got a mic and speaker or a mic and amp, with a sound room like this, it's fantastic.
Yeah, sound room makes a difference. It's dead enough to where it's not totally dead, but it's not open enough to where it's like noisy. It's like it's got a nice balance.
Yeah.
You know, especially for drums, because I like to have.
You can always add something to it too.
Yeah. Yeah, I like real roomy, airy sounding drums.
Yeah.
You know, so it has just enough of that to be able to give me what I want. You know, so.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot easier to have a signal like that. That's clean, and then you can just add rather than trying to fix something. It's special. This is special.
Yeah.
Especially in a town like Prescott.
Yeah.
I didn't even expect it, you know?
And I can show you some of the mics that we use too. I don't know if you can see that on camera here, but I'll get this open here. So this is what we used for vocals and room mics for the drum. So this is it's a Shure KSM 44A, which is a condenser mic. It sounds really nice and crisp. We've got some more drum mics. So kick drum. This is another kick drum mic, Beta 61 Beta 91A. Okay. These we can use for toms, which sound really good. We got this nice ribbon mic. It's a Bayer Dynamic. Use it a lot for guitars and drum overheads.
Oh yeah.
And then we've got more drum mics down here. These are all Audix. I really like these. So we use this for snares. So it's the Audix i5.
Okay.
Sounds really full.
Okay.
Kick drum mic.
Yeah.
Audix D6. Sounds really good. That's we use pretty much all of these mics.
I'm familiar with these little guys as an indoor dialogue mic and for what you're doing for the cymbals.
I actually like using these for acoustic guitar.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I use this one a lot for acoustic. It's the Audix SCX1. And then this one I use for overheads and also acoustic. It's the Audix SCX25A. They're both condenser mics. And then we bring in some of our own mics from our own inventory.
So are people bringing their amps in and are you wiring in the amps or are you miking the amps?
We're miking the amps.
Yeah,
we
which
mic
is
the
better.
amps. Yeah. So we actually, with my production company, we bring in other outside mics. So we bring in a lot of, Shure SM57s and Beta 57s and stuff like that for a lot of the guitars. For bass, we normally go direct in, and we also mic the amp, so kind of give a nice full sound.
Sure. Right.
So
The guitar mics are the amp mics. That's critical because a lot of people don't realize you got to have the right mic, or the thing's gonna pop on you all the time. I don't know how much people are into mics when we're talking about this thing.
I could talk about mics all day. You know?
But when it comes to doing sound and recording of the sound, it's a big deal that you would be able to come into a place like this.
And Sky City Audio have been really generous to us with the level of service that they've given to us, and they highly recommended, professional, excellent work, and never had any issues or anything. So I'm really happy that we were able to partner with Justin and his company, and for anybody that wants to come here or use him on the outside, they could not do better.
Yeah, it's been such a great partnership with the Elks. They've basically given us access to this amazing space, and it's just been a great relationship between us and the Elks Theater, to be able to come in and use the facility, but then also really work with the Elks to get their name out to the community, to a lot of the musicians in town, but then we can come in and work with one-on-one with the musicians as well, and use their facility and everything. So it's been a great relationship.
So you're stealing one of the sound booths.
So this is the biggest one here.
So you've got 4 altogether.
This is the recording space. In this particular area is Wenger soundproof booths.
Okay.
And these are designed for music practice, voiceovers, readings, any of those types of things that you would do and record.
Can you go in there?
Yeah.
Close the door?
Yeah.
And then you try to talk to me?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to hear you with, go ahead. There he's talking.
Here I am talking.
Okay. Tell me when it's closed. Anything you want.
It works.
It works. You got your money's worth.
What?
Could you hear me at all?
I could probably more because I could see your mouth moving. And
These are locked, but this is that recording session we did. This is where the keyboardist was, and like I said, everything's got mic input access. So if we've got a guitar amp or something in here, we can run mics into this room, and then they can
just plug up.
This room right here, this big one, is where it's got all the other.
When they bring the keyboards in, do you supply your own cables?
Yeah, we have our own cables here. Sometimes they'll bring their own instrument cables just for because we always just say, if you could bring your own instrument cables, that'd be great. If not, we've got them, so drums and everything can get plugged in there. We have a ton of cables,
right.
We have all different kinds of cables.
Right.
Direct boxes, which is what, you can plug an acoustic guitar in or keyboard.
This is a nice setup.
So, yeah, it's cool. And what's cool is we use this room for the most part, just so we can see them through the control room there,
Right.
So it's easier to communicate.
So you could actually fit a 3-piece in here if you wanted to.
Well, we don't normally put a full band in here at once.
Okay.
If it's a full band that wants to record all at once, the drummer and then maybe a guitarist will be in here.
Oh, okay.
If the guitarist is in here, we still put amps in another room.
Well, yeah.
So that's what we did. We had drums. The guitar player was in here. His guitar amps were in that room.
Well, if somebody is extremely experienced at doing this, okay, I can see them being separate rooms. But if they're used to eye contact for feel and how to get it just where they want to and how they work together, I could see that it could help to be able to be together or somewhat together anyway. Okay, this is Justin from
Sky City Audio.
And he is at the Elks Performing Arts Center. Basically runs this particular department here, along with having his own business too, and they're kind of tied together. So you want to contact the Elks if you want to get anything like this done.
Yeah. So if you want to book studio time, get in touch with Steven at the Elks Theater, or you can go to my website, skycityaudio.com, and we can book through one of those two sources.
Okay, well, that was a great tour. We got to see a lot of things with the Elks.
Yeah, the reason that we exist here is to support the performing arts in the Quad City area, and that combines both the theater aspect of the business, or the foundation, and the performing arts side. And there are a dozen different things that we do in the community that is supported by the people that come to the shows next door in the theater, that volunteer for us, that rent our facilities, our dance studios, rooms upstairs, the event halls upstairs on the third floor. That all that money that we receive is turned around and put back into the community here by the Elks Foundation. And it happens through scholarship. We do also music buying program, instrument buying programs for local high schools and middle schools.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. Where we literally call up the school and say, "What do you need?" And they'll give us a list of stuff, and we'll, depending on budget, just buy them some stuff and give it to them. And literally, that's what we do. Partnering with some of the local theater groups, nonprofit theater groups, where they get to use the theater and put on their family theater shows. And
Yeah, we do dance recitals, we do graduations, things like that for some of the local schools. It's great. They do their science fair projects up here, so they'll have a little show downstairs on the stage, and then they'll come up here and have their family follow, and it's a whole thing. Yeah, it's really, really neat. Yeah.
when people come here, that they're not just spending money, the money that is returned to the community at large in a number of different ways, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to be a part of it, and it's wonderful being able to help in whatever way we can.
We've had moms, approach us and say, I can't afford ballet shoes. I can't afford tap shoes. They're going to get their ballet shoes and tap shoes for sure, so we do that. And I don't think the community is really, really aware of that just yet. And so this is going to help. We want the word to get out.
Really, really happy to be part of it. Really, really happy to participate, and really thrilled that you're taking the time to give us the exposure. Absolutely.
Anything else to say that you want to say?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm gonna close out for your neck of the woods, and this is the Elks Theater Performing Arts Center with two different sides. One's the theater, and one has all these different areas that you can rent for dance, et cetera, et cetera. It's a great thing in this community, and I'm glad you could watch this segment. Thank you.